Good to see you as well. How's everything?
Going well, busy as ever, but going really well. How about y'all?
Good. Been tuning in for the last hour and a half, listening to some great insights from some travel marketers over at IHG and Delta and now you. We've got a good 30 minutes ahead of us. I think we're going to try to leave some time at the end for some Q&A should any come in. Just by way of introduction for the crowd, again, my name is Ray Erickson. I head up our travel and hospitality category vertical over at Samsung Ads, which has been in business since about 2015. And I was tasked to start our travel category in the beginning of 2020. A little bit of an interesting time to start that category for obvious reasons. And we had our challenges, but I would say in the last year and a half, we've had a lot of success from a plethora of travel marketers leaning into the connected TV space, tapping into our 60 million smart TVs in the US across 40 million households, providing relevant targeting for those brands and providing meaningful measurement as well. I'm here joined today with Dana Lawrence, the Managing Director of Global Brand Marketing over at American Airlines. Welcome, Dana. So we did a little prep work last week just to get to know each other a little bit and wanted to structure the conversation clearly around the future of travel for obvious reasons, and put it in a couple of different categories across making sure we touched upon the consumer experience and building upon that, the passenger experience, of course, touch upon the media strategy, what's been going on in the past a little bit, maybe right now, of course, and then more importantly, the future, touch upon some of the partnerships that are going on, and again, more just focused around the future of travel with American Airlines. So before we jump into all that, Dana, it's always good for the audience to get an understanding of you and what you do, what you've been doing over there for the last, almost 4 years after I don't know, was it a 17, 18-year career over at PepsiCo?
Yeah, I have a CPB background, but have been here a while at American, and it's been great. It's been great, yeah.
So tell us what's going on over there. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so I lead global marketing at American, and the purview for my team is brand strategy, advertising, media. We do communications planning for some of those big communications that go across, all elements of the company. Also, we manage own channels, email, CRM, as well as digital content on AA.com, and then also sponsorships and activations. So, and of course, we connect so strongly with different teams in American, but those are the focus areas, and definitely keeps us busy over here. But always exciting, a lot going on, and a lot to be excited about with travel these days.
Sure. So speaking of that, let's talk about there's a lot going on. I want to make sure we address the elephant in the room, with all things aviation and travel. Obviously not specific to American, more of just the industry. There's been a lot that's impacted the industry in the last 2 years with the pandemic, and currently with as a result with supply chain issues and labor shortages and weather and air traffic control and all the above. The question I have is, despite all those issues, American is growing, as evident by most recent Q2 earnings, a profitable quarter, still positive sentiment across the board. Share with us how American has been solving for some of these issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was great for us to have that profitable Q2 after 2 years of COVID. I feel like it just kind of confirms the trajectory that we are on, both as a company and with the travel category overall. And, if you think about it, I spoke at Brand Innovators. It was the Future of Travel livecast. I think it was think it was February of 2021. And
Yep.
gosh, it's amazing to think how much has changed in the travel industry in just a year and a half. And, we're just excited that demand for travel has returned and that, we're seeing people want to travel more than ever before. And we're proud that American is on the forefront of that. We actually flew in Q2 25% more flights than our next largest competitor. So, we really want to make sure that we're able to deliver on all of the travel demand out there that we're seeing. But, as you mentioned, it's definitely been a rough summer and for everyone in the entire airline industry, us included. We've been impacted by people shortages, and we're seeing that across so many different industries, particularly service industries. And we're seeing that we're also impacted by weather. In June, we had something like 27 days of weather out of 30 days. So, you can imagine that's ramp closures, that's ground stops, and it really does have a ripple effect throughout our operation. And unfortunately, that disrupts passengers' travel journeys, which is, not what we want. We want everyone to have that smooth, seamless journey, enjoy the trip, and of course, getting to their destination or getting home. You may have read about issues in key airports. Like I know London Heathrow is one of our main international airports that we fly into. And they've started limiting number of passengers, departing passengers actually. So capacity of 100,000. And I think the numbers are like they would fly over 200,000. So less than double or less than double people per day. So it's really impacted us as well. But as we look ahead, we really make sure that we're right sizing our operations. So as we look to the rest of the summer, the rest of the year, we've taken proactive steps. So what we want to do is make sure that we have some more buffer in our schedules. So when these things happen, when things that are out of our control, like weather and airport issues, we've really tried to give us that buffer and limit our capacity to the resources we have and what we know we can fly and really face those operating conditions that unfortunately just continue to plague us overall. But, we're confident that we can run a reliable operation, and we're already seeing improvements in July as we close that out compared to June and the beginning of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about learning from, our past experiences. Do we want to call them mistakes? Because we've never really been in a situation like this before, and of our time. So we're all learning, right? Issues that you were experiencing a year and a half ago, you had to pivot and address that. I recall you talking about, American during that brand Innovators chat, pivoted more towards cargo. Right? You had to kind of upend your entire media strategy that you took months and months to plan for as a result. And now you're, kind of pivoting and learning again from this summer travel. I think the key is to what you're saying is you kind of control what you can. A lot of the times the weather is out of our control, but it's all about learning and moving on. As my dad says, may the best days of your past be the worst days of your future. So you learn from it and you make the best of it.
It's definitely a dynamic environment. And so I think you just have to prepare for a dynamic environment. Even more so, I think travel has always been very dynamic, the category itself. But if you think of where we've been over the past 2 years and where we are going and just what we're experiencing right now, the business objectives, we have those core objectives, but the environment changes. And so from a marketing perspective and from an operational perspective, we have to change with it and prepare as much as we possibly can and kind of prepare for the unexpected and know that flexibility is a virtue.
Indeed it is. Let's talk about the future. When we were doing some prep, you had mentioned a couple times that the future is bright. And I love the optimism, the positivity there. I agree. Elaborate on that. Tell us where and how American is seeing a bright future.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely think the future is really bright. I think, if you think about it, I mean, some people have asked, we're seeing this massive travel demand right now, but is that really going to continue? Are we going to continue to see that? Or, is it really this idea of revenge travel? And I think that the pandemic has really taught us all the value of experiences and the importance of being there in person, connecting with your family and friends, visiting new places, see the natural beauty, the different cuisines, whatever it is, or even if you're conducting business in person. And demand may have surged initially because of that revenge travel idea, but I think the importance of connection and the inherent transformative nature of travel is going to ensure that travel demand is going to continue. I think we've had that insight for a long time that millennials value experiences more than they value things. And I think it's just a matter of the fact that the rest of the world, or the rest of us in different age groups, have caught up to that way of thinking. And I think that travel is one of those top experiences that people really value that they can't replace. And so we're bright about that. And you're seeing our investments are reflecting that. If you look at our network, we've definitely expanded domestic because obviously over the past several years, that's where the majority of travel has been. But we are anticipating, what's happening in the future and where we're going. We've just, we've expanded to international destinations that we've never traveled to, places like Doha, Qatar. We're going international destinations going into India. So I think we see some of these strategic future opportunities to expand. And we are really bullish on that because we are bullish on the future of travel. And then it is something that it's going to continue. It's not just a blip post-COVID.
All right, let's shift gears more specifically to the passenger experience. On the heels of talking about the future of travel, it seems like a lot of it is around innovation, digitization. You heard it from IHG, Delta. How is American Airlines improving or enhancing or including innovation for their travelers?
Yeah, we're leveraging innovation in a lot of ways. I mean, I think like most travel providers and airlines, we are always looking for ways to create a more convenient and stress-free travel journey. I think anyone who flies can appreciate that. There is some inherent stress for people. And we're using digital innovation to empower customers because we've definitely found, through customer insights, et cetera, is that our passengers, they want to have more control over travel. Sometimes you do feel like, gosh, out of control, and anything that they can manage for themselves, they're happy, more content, feel like they can help manage the experience. And most importantly, we want people to move through the airport faster. And one of the ways we do this is really encouraging people to use the American Airlines mobile app. A lot of the people who are very, loyal customers, absolutely. I think anyone who flies on American regularly knows that it has so many valuable elements, and it really can help make your travel easier. But we want to make sure that everyone knows that, gosh, you can almost do anything from your smart device. You can check in for your flight. You can download your mobile boarding pass, live chat with a reservations agent. We've also given customers the ability they can check in online. And then they can just express scan their boarding pass at a kiosk. They don't have to go through multiple levels on the check-in screen. They don't have to stand in a long check-in line. They literally can just scan their boarding pass because they've already done everything that they need to do before they get there. Because we want people to be able to get through the airport as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, and really get to be able to relax for their flight and look forward to where they're going. So I think that digital component is really critical and it's important. That's how people are managing their lives. You can do almost everything on your smartphone, and the same is true in travel. And then another stressful part of the journey is getting through TSA. And now we're leveraging biometrics. You can just use your phone and really your face. We have partnered with TSA PreCheck. And when you have, with TSA, and then when you have PreCheck, and if you have, your phone and an advantage number, you can create a mobile ID. You'll go through a separate line at security where you just have to show a QR code on your phone and look into the camera. So we have this in DFW right now, and we're going to be expanding to Miami, Phoenix, DC, and beyond later this year. But it's really a faster the identity verification process. So we're seeing a lot of benefits from that. Anything that we can make the travel experience more seamless, whether for ourselves or when you're flying with one of our One World Alliance partners.
Got it. I mean, everything is at the palm of your hand, right? With your phone. Quick little numbers and stats here from eMarketer. Digital travel bookers in this year, 2022, is 120 million, representing just about half of the internet population. And by 26, it's going to grow up to 131 million. So 11 million more folks in the next couple of years are going to be booking travel online. I know that number continues to go up. It's gone up from years past. Now, my mom back in the day would only call the travel agent, and she didn't want to get online or anything. But there's such more of a comfort level to book online and book through the app. Are you seeing a lot of that as well with American? Is a lot of the bookings, not just so much the experience after you've booked the tickets, but are bookings happening a lot through the mobile app?
Yeah, I mean, we have seen, a continued shift, as you mentioned, and this is not a new trend, but shifting to doing your own personal booking, booking on AA.com, booking on the app. Absolutely, you have access to different benefits, more information. It's all right there for you. And so that's definitely something we continue to encourage, just because it makes it for a more seamless experience. And without having that middleman, if you're looking through it, we're just seeing that customers really like going direct, just like they do in so many different aspects of their life for other things.
Sure. Let's on the heels of the app, we talked a lot about last week the loyalty program. You already touched on it a little bit. American Airlines Advantage program. How has that changed over the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, we talked about innovation earlier, and we were focused on digital innovation. But I'd say as a company, one of the biggest areas of innovation for us has been with our Advantage program. So we made a significant change to the program at the end of the year that has really gone into effect in March of this year. And that's the fact that now you don't just earn loyalty status through flying, but you can also earn it through spend on your American Airlines Advantage credit card. So in the past, you'd always gain Advantage miles through your spend on the credit card, but now you can actually gain loyalty points and loyalty status. So what we're seeing is a significant increase in the number of loyalty members and status members, because they are flying. They're not just flying, they are spending. And we really want to make sure that we are valuing all interactions that our customers have with the American Airlines ecosystem. So whether that is flying, whether that's spending on your credit card, or whether that is leveraging one of our Advantage partners, we want to make sure that that is valued for our customers and that they see the inherent value. We're finding that there are people, especially in the pandemic, they may not be traveling as much for business. They may not be flying as much to be able to get the status just from flights that they have in the past. But when they spend on their credit card, we're seeing a number of people where they may not fly that many times per year, but they really value that loyalty to American and what the benefits that they can gain from it just by spending on their credit card. They are gaining the status and they are gaining the Advantage miles to fly their family on vacation, when they take that summer vacation. So we're really trying to make sure that we're driving all aspects of loyalty. And one of the most interesting things is, and I know you've heard about this in blogs and gosh, even in TV and movies, about the mileage run. Because in the past, you would have people, it's getting to the end of the year, I either want to maintain my status or I want to get to the next level. I'm going to go on this flight. It was less about where they're going or that they needed to go anyplace. It was just so they can get either the spend, the miles, the segments, so that they can maintain their status.
Right.
Really, at the end of the mileage run, it could just be about, spending for your gift buying over the holidays or whatever it is, your monthly bills. Those all add to this experience that you can have and gain loyalty status as well as miles. So we're really excited about that. And it's one of those things that I think it's really transforming how people are thinking about not just flying, but spending with American.
Great. Thank you for sharing all that. And I agree. Not everyone's an Advantage member. Some are, some not. Some travel once a year. Some travel, 5, 6, 7 times a year, internationally, domestic. There's no one type of traveler. So how is American addressing each traveler's needs or requirements?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in general, we offer a terrific experience for everyone based on the cost, the pricing that they're looking for, as well as the different benefits they're looking for. So we offer multiple cabin classes. We offer different types of seats. We offer additional benefits the customer can add on during their flight booking. But really, we're making sure that there is a cost value option for every customer. And we think there's a lot of value to be derived, whatever that cost value benefit is for each individual person. And we want to make sure that despite whatever class of cabin you're flying in, whatever price your flight is, we want everyone to be an Advantage member because there are benefits to that, and that is free to sign up. So we really want to encourage everyone, even if you're just flying once a year, you can still be an Advantage member and gain those benefits from it. And then I say more from maybe a brand and a customer experience standpoint, we want to make sure that everyone who is thinking about flying on American knows that this is an airline for them, that they can really feel like that we are catering to their needs, are thinking of them. We're really committed to diversity and DEI in every element. So it's definitely about making sure that our team members reflect our customer base and who's flying, but it's also about thinking through, we work with a diverse group of suppliers that bring value to our company. They offer unique skills, ideas, etc., perspectives. So whether that is, we offer a new dessert, it's a bundt cake. It's called Silver Spoons Dessert, and it comes from a diverse entrepreneur that we found, and we've actually helped her build up her business so she could get enough, she could actually supply us. And it's turned out it's one of our customers' favorite desserts. Also, when you think of it from in-flight entertainment, we offer a wide variety of entertainment, but we also have diversity in our entertainment. We have movies that are specifically featured from the American Black Film Festival. So those are just a few, examples. But whether it is from the operations and the type of seat, or whether it's what you can do while you're flying with this and what are the different aspects that you can enjoy, we want to make sure that that is reflected for everyone, not just in the US, but also globally on our global flights.
All right. Well, I haven't had lunch yet, so you talking about that dessert is not helping my my appetite. I'm going to need some silver spoon desserts.
Try it
out. Let's talk about partnerships. You announced partnership last month, maybe a month and a half ago, with Discovery Plus. That has Warner Brothers content on the in-flight entertainment. What was the impetus of that? Can you talk a little bit more about that partnership?
Sure. For our in-flight entertainment, we really think of it in terms of, we want to make sure that time that the customers spend with American Airlines is time well spent, particularly when they're in flight. So we really have placed a lot of focus and investment into our in-flight offerings. So we definitely have great movies, for sure. I think you'll find an awesome selection, but we've also launched different types of entertainment. We found out from our customers what are their different interests and passions, and we try and make sure that that is reflected in our entertainment as well. So we recently launched a new lifestyle channel that features Rosetta Stone. So when you're traveling, particularly if you're going to a different country, you can learn some phrases from a new language. We also have Skillshare, and that is little short presentations by different experts in their field. So you can spend that time on your plane learning how to do budget interior home design. They've got a ton of different topics that are a lot of fun. And then, of course, different interesting and educational content from Discovery Plus. So something we've been investing with for a long time. we were the first, and I think believe still the only carrier to offer Apple Music streaming for free. So if you're the type of person who just like to put on your headphones and kind of zone out and you want some different music, here you go. We have Apple TV Plus, so we're offering different TV shows. I know I've particularly enjoyed watching the morning show when I've been flying. We also have the Apple Music video channel. So there's just a lot of different aspects that we think about it, but it is that idea of time well spent. So whether you're leveraging best-in-class Wi-Fi, or you want another one that's kind of a cool one that I know a lot of people have enjoyed is something unique is in-flight access to Austin city limits. So they have all these cool musicians and indie musicians and different things that I know a lot of us unfortunately don't get the chance to go to Austin all that often. So you get in-flight access and you can watch concerts from Billie Eilish, Dave Matthews Band. So it's definitely something that we want to feel like people can have that quality entertainment, and really feel like they're not only excited to get to the destination or return home, but we want them to feel like they've enjoyed the flight in all aspects, whether it's customer service, whether it's reliability, but also from an entertainment perspective.
So talking about Austin, with Austin City Limits, you all had another partnership with the University of Texas. I believe it's your alma mater as well, and offering a rewards program there. What does the sponsorship mean for Longhorn fans or maybe other colleges?
Yeah, I mean, well, for all the Longhorn fans out there, hook 'em. You can now, go to DKR Memorial Stadium, and you will see our American Airlines Advantage patio. It's going to be the coolest place to watch football games when you're in Austin. But really the thinking behind that in the strategy, nothing to do with the fact that I went to UT, but what it really is about Austin overall. It is such a growing market overall. I think if you see the news, even nationally, how many corporations are moving to the Austin area as well as just population. So we're really looking at that as we think about our network and where we're expanding and what we're focusing on. And also the fact that for us, Austin is almost in our backyard. Right. It's 3.5 hours away or so driving from the DFW area. So it's been a big strategic focus for us. We've invested significantly in Austin. So in the past year, we've added 35 new routes from Austin. And also we know that we want to make sure that we're giving the right level of service to our customers. So we've always had a Admirals Club in Austin, but we've actually broken ground on a new 15,000 feet square Admirals Club. So it's going to be the largest airport lounge in Austin. So having the UT Athletics sponsorship and partnering with Texas X's, which is the alumni group, it's really just, I like to think of it as the trifecta, in helping us to drive share and really to drive brand preference for American in Austin. So, now you've got the flights, you can go there on American, you can enjoy the Admirals Club in the lounge, and you can root for your team knowing that American Airlines is a key supporter of University of Texas overall.
Great. I love it. All right. How are we doing on time here? 1:40. Let's talk a little bit about for some of the brand marketers on the phone and looking to get an understanding of your media strategy and the dynamics behind that. In that chat with your friends at MediaCom, with Brand Innovators last February, you had spoke about some of the tactics at the time were more lower funnel, the butts and seats, and now fast forward a year and a half later, how has that shifted? What's the focus now? What's the plans going into back half of the year as you think about 23, not having a crystal ball, but hopefully a lot of the pandemic woes are behind us despite some variants. But as far as the media strategy, the marketing support around it, tell the folks tuning in what American's doing in that realm.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as we said earlier, things have definitely changed a lot, and that definitely impacts our media strategy overall. And I'll say that we really focus a lot on being as effective and efficient with our media as possible. I think any marketer would say that on a good day, but particularly, when our budgets, they're still not huge. We're still we're really focused on the bottom line and profitability. As you can imagine, we haven't had profit for 2 years, save for this last quarter. So we do really try and be effective and efficient. But we have been employing a full funnel media strategy this year. If the pandemic, it was very low funnel focused and really trying to capture any demand that was out there. At this point, we still want to make sure that we're driving conversion in the lower funnel, but we're also investing in the mid funnel to drive consideration. In addition, we're doing upper funnel, so awareness, prospecting, etc. So, for example, we just launched in July an Advantage advertising campaign. So we're communicating just what I talked about, some of the new innovation that we have in our Advantage program. And one of the key messages, is you can earn status through your credit card spend, and that travel is better as an Advantage member. So that is really more of that upper funnel campaign that we want to gain awareness for. We want people to be thinking about it. So I would say it's very much a full funnel strategy right now, and I anticipate that is going to continue. I think depending whether you look at from a seasonal perspective, when is travel demand high, when is it low, when are we trying to drive it, what are the new innovations that we are highlighting, etc. But I fully anticipate that we're going to continue focusing on full funnel strategy with that mix of upper and mid funnel tactics. And we saw over the summer, we pulled back on our lower funnel because flights were full. We didn't need to capture that demand in the way we have during other parts of the year. So we shifted budget to different areas. But I imagine, as we go into more shoulder season, that'll change. So, we really try and think of it in those terms and what's needed and what we're seeing in the environment.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, it's just positive to see that travel spend is back. American is contributing to that, and promoting the Advantage program or just the brand in and of itself. And we've seen, was it travel spend again, eMarketer sourced here from May of this year. Digital travel was in 2020 down 50% to 2.9 billion, 21 up to 4.2. This year up to 5.3. Fast forward a couple of years, 24 is going to be 7.4 billion, which is exceeding 2019 levels. So it's good that travel's back, the spend is back, going up and to the right, and it's fantastic that again that American is getting their name out there and pushing the brand.
Absolutely.
How about on the output? On the other side of it, the measurement. How's American measuring these campaigns or particular KPIs with the Advantage campaign that you have now? Like what are ways that you measure the output?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is very standard metrics that you would imagine, whether it's impression, engagement, cost per booking, ROAS, click-through rate. And of course that shifts depending what the specific objectives are of that campaign. But one of the measurements that we look at that I think is a little bit more unique is cost per landing page view, because we have that a lot of our media, it actually drives to dynamic fare landing pages. We've got so many different pages that you can go to, and whether that is the specific routes or destinations that you're looking for. I'm looking for a beach location. Whatever the case is, we have different pages that are curated based on your search criteria.
Right.
Also, it's just a place to send different people depending what that message is. If we have a new network message, a new flight, new route, that we can send to saying, here are all of the places that you can get to XYZ new location. So, we look at that across the board. And, from an ROI standpoint, we have a media mix model that really helps us try and assess the true ROI as we think of that across the board. Since, as I said, we've got to be really efficient, and we want to make sure that we are driving that true ROI.
Yep. Yeah, I think the landing page is key. We're seeing that at Samsung Ads quite a bit with the travel brands that are working with us, from hospitality to OTAs to the theme parks, the destinations. Both the Arrival Lift that we do our partnership with Arrival List, but also just having the ability to pixel a brand site, providing that meaningful measurement, impact that a CTV campaign has in driving to a particular landing page. There's still ways that you want to track your digital investments, and seeing the activity inbound from your media and what's going on the page, I think is critical.
Yeah, it's great to be able to. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, it's great to be able to not only provide customers with more specific information and flight options, but it's also a different way to inspire travel. Because there are a lot of pages that are less just specific here to there, but I'm looking for a weekend city break,
right.
And we have pages curated for that. So a lot of different options depending on what customers are looking for.
Can you talk more about the MES, or the media engagement score, that I believe you're working with Mediacom on, as far as kind of like future of measurement, what that would look like?
Yeah, I mean, we're always doing different tests, in the media environment, and what's going to work best for us. What do we see our customers really engaging with? But we're seeing that we're working across so many different digital channels and different areas. And sometimes you feel like it's a little bit of comparing apples to apples. Excuse me, apples to oranges, not apples to apples. And so how can we really better have a cross-channel analysis when we're making these investments? And so one of the things that Mediacom has been helping us with is a media engagement score. So how can we look at different performance indicators, weight those, and kind of harmonize that across digital units, allowing for a single form of comparison. So, we'll see how that goes. It's something that we're working on, and I imagine we'll probably adjust over time, but just trying to look at it from different perspectives so that we can be as effective as possible and use the media dollars in a way that's really going to best engage with our customers.
Great. All right, we've got a couple minutes left, I think, before we want to open it up. And thought we'd end it with around the theme of the future of travel, around the future of media. What trends are you seeing in travel, and how will that inform or enhance your media strategy moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard throughout that I think leisure travel has been a big focus for us. Of course, business travel is always going to be there, but this trend of, what people are referring to as bleisure, where you're combining that business and leisure travel together, I think is only going to continue. You're seeing continued hybrid workplaces. And so just more and more, those are blended. You can't always just count on the fact that, oh, it's a multi-passenger booking for 4 people. It's a family trip. Not necessarily. It can often be, where you have a business trip, you're taking your family, extending a vacation, or you are doing kind of a work from home in a different destination. I think that's going to continue. And I think we'll continue to morph with that, as far as, are there different offerings when you have that mix of business and leisure that we need to offer to our customers. So I think more to come on that one, but it is interesting. And I think, as everyone from a media perspective talks about, and this environment and where we're headed in that area, leveraging our first party data becomes even more critical. So that's something we work through, while at the same time balancing privacy. So what are those different areas where we can best reach our customers in the way that is relevant for them?
Great. All right, I think that's about it. I mean, you can end it with a fun question, taking a page out of the prior sessions. But about yourself, any trips coming up, or anything that you're looking forward to in the next couple months?
Oh, absolutely. I always have a few trips, in the offing. I think I'm definitely a passionate traveler way before I even arrived in American. Was a loyal American member. I have a million miler status before I arrived at American. So always have some trips planned. I'm headed to uh, Chicago for a weekend, headed to New York for a weekend with some girlfriends to do a Broadway weekend, as well as some international travel. Probably the next biggest trip is to India over Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go check out the Taj Mahal. So looking forward to that.
Wonderful. That'll be great. Well, I've got family down in Dallas, and I have now another excuse to get down there. He's been bugging me to come visit him, so I'll be sure to get down there, and would love to sync up with you in person, outside of this virtual world.
Absolutely. We'd love for you to travel with us and love to meet you in person.
Of course. So I think I can open this up. I don't know if the questions come in.
We did have one come in, and it's a good one. It's a two-parter. It's how do you effectively market to the masses when some people are more comfortable traveling than others, and how do you make that messaging inclusive for both the regular travelers who are ready to go and the ones that are a little more leery still in this new world?
Yeah, I think we've definitely learned that each customer is unique, and as far as what are their needs. So whether they are, and we want to make sure that we're offering a travel experience that in which they feel comfortable, they feel calm, they're happy, all of those good things. And so, for those who have more health concerns or maybe COVID concerns, so many of those practices that we were doing during COVID are still relevant. I mean, even today, our pilots will make the message, you no longer have to wear a mask in flight, but please be respectful of those who choose to do so. And so we want to make sure that people feel like that is a travel experience that's tailored for them. Yes, it is broader. It's not something that every single trip is personalized, but there are so many different elements, so whether that is, you require a certain type of meal and we can accommodate in that way. The different entertainment based on whether you need it in a different language, or you require a different boarding because of things you're carrying on, etc. There's so many different ways that we can tailor the experience. But for those that still have, I don't know, I want to say COVID concerns, but health concerns overall, the great news is that all of those things we did, when you talk about HEPA filters and different things that really ensure that you are going to have a good flight on American, we've continued and we continue to reinforce.
Awesome, thank you. And that looks like that might be our last question. So I don't know if Ray, you have any more in your quiver there.
I'm good. I think we addressed everything that we wanted to cover off on.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. These chats are so great. Getting all the great travel tips in the background while you're talking. So thank you.
We didn't ask you where are you headed next?
Where's
your dream destination that you would love to go?
Heading to Atlanta. Dream destination is like bum around Europe for a year, but that one might get a little frowned upon by the powers that be and the people that I have to pay bills to every month. Details.
Maybe just a short trip.
Just a short trip. Yeah, just a weekend bum. But I do have a friend getting married in Rio next summer. So that's or Rio de Janeiro, sorry. That's my next big trip. So.
Well, Rio's fabulous. So I'm sure you will enjoy it. It'll be a very special wedding. But yeah, that's one of our prime destinations that we go into South America that we find that our customers particularly enjoy. So I'm sure.
And we just got one more come in for you, Dana, actually.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
We're seeing conversations around solo travel popping on the platform. Are you seeing that as another trend at American?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's something that we are not just, whether someone's traveling solo, whether they're traveling with a group, etc. We're always prepared to handle that and really encourage that over the board. I don't think we have any major any sort of policies that are just around traveling as a couple or traveling as a group or as a family. I think we probably have predominantly more passengers traveling on their own these days. So solo is travel, something that we highly encourage, and hopefully solo travelers feel that America is for them and can take them to all the destinations that they want to either go visit friends, see their family, or just going on that solo trip. I think, for those of us who are in the travel industry who are always reading different travel blogs in different areas, there's so many groups that are dedicated to solo travel, and whatever your interest is, solo women travelers, solo older travelers, solo travelers with different interests that they want to focus on. So whether you're truly taking that solo trip or you're looking for a group of other solo travelers to go with, tons of opportunities. And what I would say is, having been a solo traveler myself for many years, I would say don't let that hold you back. Don't feel like you've got to have a traveling companion to go someplace fabulous and have a great time and learn a lot and gain some new experiences. Because at the end of the day, travel is transformative, and I think there's so many life benefits to traveling and getting out there. So encourage that as a travel professional, and also just as a passionate traveler myself.
Love it. We'll steal a line from Nike to put a stamp on the day. Travel, just do it. Just do it. Just go.
Okay.
And one more plug, I would say, and travel is better as an Advantage member. So sign up to be an Advantage member, and that travel experience on American is going to be even better.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for joining us today. This is a great chat.